Hi everybody, welcome back to Real Estate Investing Adventures. Why? Because real estate is fun and it should always be an adventure. If you're a return guest, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for watching this video. Who the heck am I? My name is Joe Jurek and I'm a real estate investor, and I have the ability to travel all over the country and work with other investors just like you that might be brand new and beginning, trying to do their first deal, or maybe they're trying to take their real estate investing business to the next level. In this video, I'm continuing on with the A through Z series. If you have not watched some of the other videos and you like this, please watch the other ones from A through Z. And this series can help you do a deal, do your next deal, what's everything from A through Z and doing a deal. This video, we're going to talk about the letter Q. What is Q going to be for? Quitclaim. Sometimes people have heard a different type of deeds. Quitclaim deed is one type of deed. The quitclaim deed gives you the least amount of kind of assurance that you have rights within the property, because what the seller is telling you, if they give you a quitclaim, is any right that I have, if I have any at all, I'm going to convey to you in the quitclaim. Instead of a quitclaim deed, there's other forms of deeds that we'll want to be aware of, but the best type is a general warranty deed. Now, the general warranty deed is going to give you the most assurance that you have good, free, clear, and equitable title. Now, I'm not an attorney, so any questions you have in regards to a deed or type of deed, make sure you talk to the attorney about that, because sometimes people buy properties at an auction or get a sheriff deed or a warranty deed or a quitclaim deed, and they believe they have interest in the entire property, but then they later find out that the interest they do have wasn't what they thought. So I would encourage you to understand the type of deed you're getting. With the deed, you should always go to a title company to have title insurance. And once again, the title insurance company should tell you that they're providing insurance to give you clear, free, and equitable title to the property. Another Q that I was going to talk about is quiet title. Some people out there are interested in tax liens. Now, this entire video, I cannot go into every aspect about tax liens because there's so much to cover, but one of the Qs is quiet title. If you are looking at a tax lien or some type of property that you feel somebody could have a claim to, there is a process called quiet title process. Granted, a real estate attorney would probably be the best to go through that with you, but what is quiet title? You're basically telling the world and everybody out there that if you have any sort of claim against this property, you have to make us aware of it during a certain period. You're going to advertise that notice publicly at least 3 times over a certain time frame. And if nobody has claimed that property once you advertise and put it out there, such as a tax lien, what's going to happen is you're going to file quiet title process. It's a legal process almost where you're kind of telling the world, I have title to this property. So quiet title is something you have to be aware of. I got to tell you, several years ago, I went to a tax lien sale, and there were so many people in line saying, I can't believe I'm going to buy properties so cheap and get them for pennies on the dollar. And they weren't quite sure of the process they basically had to go through in order to kind of quiet the title and perfect it. They may have went through half the process, but the quieting title is the last process you normally have to go to get equity title into that property. So make sure you do the steps. I'd hate for you to get something and not know what you have after the process. These are unique and special things based on the transactions you're doing, but I thought it could help you. Another Q that I wanted to touch on is a quad plex. A lot of times people are interested in multifamily, more so than say a single family house or a condo or a townhome, that sort of thing. The nice thing about a quadplex, a 4-unit, is anything 4-unit and below is considered by banks to be residential real estate. That fifth unit, if you have 5 units or above, that 5 is kind of the magic number where they view that as a commercial building, where if you go to a bank to get a mortgage or a loan, they're going to view that as a commercial type of property. So some of you that are looking at taking your real estate investing to the next level, you feel that a multi-unit may be a good route to go because you're paying less per unit, which is a definite plus. If you have 1 unit that's not rented and the other 3 are rented, you don't have as big of a hit on your monthly cash flow, which is another plus. If you have a single family home that you're renting out for $2,500 or $3,000 a month and it's empty, you're getting nothing. But in a quadplex, say you're getting $1,500 a month for nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath units, and you have 1 that's vacant, you're still bringing in $4,500, and once you get it filled, it's back up to the $6,000 if you're getting $1,500 a month for each unit. So as you're looking at multi-units, one thing to be aware of, always check all the units. Never let anybody say, well, you saw 1 unit, the other 3 are pretty much the same and identical. You gotta look at each and every unit. Look at the kitchens, look at the bathrooms, look at the overall condition. You also have to remember that if you have 4 units, another good tip, a golden nugget, would be to make sure that the tenants pay their own utilities. A lot of times in colder climates, if you're furnishing the heat and there's 1 boiler, they're gonna crank it up to 85. And you're gonna have 1 tenant that's cold all the time and 3 tenants that are hot. And I had a building one time where people were opening the windows and it was 0 outside because the person didn't want to put on a sweater. They said, well, I don't want to be chilled, so I put the temperature on 80 degrees, and all the other tenants were kind of just too warm. So utilities can be a major cost to you when you're looking at a multi-unit like a quad. What I would ensure the tenants pay their own, usually gas, electric. Sometimes with the multi-unit, you're going to have a common area with electric, or a common area that you may provide laundry and have water that you're paying for the whole building. But water, common electric's fine, but I would not recommend furnishing the gas electric for the tenants, because they often will leave lights on and not care, and kind of take advantage of that situation. The other thing with the multi-unit, if you're looking at a quad, always remember you have 4 air conditioning units you got to check out. You might have 4 furnaces you're going to check out. You have 4 water heaters you're going to check out. So don't just assume that everything looks great. Look at some of those capital expenditures, including the roof, the windows, things of that nature. I had a friend looking at a multi-unit one time, and I think the building had something like 40 windows in it, and the windows were really old and crusty and bad. And he had said he got a quote, around $500 replacement window. He was looking for a better window. Now 40 windows, $500 a window, you're looking at $20,000 in windows. Now I know there's cheaper windows out there, but I'm using that as an example. Anything that you got to replace, repair, renovate is going to add up. The other thing that you got to look at too is common area laundry will be nice if you have at least 4 units or above. A lot of times the tenants will have the convenience of having on-site laundry, but don't give away the laundry. Sometimes I've looked at multi-units, and landlords that have owned the building for 30 years are only charging 50 cents for the laundry when all the laundromats in town are charging $2 for a load to wash or to dry. So make sure that you're comparable to what is the laundromats in the area. But here's the way I look at it: even if you're slightly higher, it's the convenience of the tenant not having to go to the laundromat in town. They can do it right at the building itself. So multi-units can be a good investment. They can be a little bit different. Just make sure you do your due diligence, check out everything. Make sure if you're getting financing, you line that up to make sure the bank or the lender is comfortable with that multi-unit, and just have an understanding of comparables. Comparables are another thing that's going to help us with value and determine, and sometimes the comparables will help, or how much income the building is generating. They're going to look at that to determine value too. Definitely check out some of my other videos that I've done on my channel here to give you more insight to multi-units and some of the other things we had talked about in regards to the factors with them. What I would strongly encourage you to do definitely decide on the area you're going to start investing in. Definitely decide on the type of property and kind of stick with it. Don't be all across the board. Sometimes new investors are looking at so many different areas, they can't learn one area. So definitely make sure you put a lot of focus into one specific area. I would often call it a swimmer, not being all over the pool. They're staying in their lane and they're knowing what they're trying to do and get accomplished. And as an investor, you should be too. So get out there, make your dreams a reality. Take care, believe and achieve. Bye-bye.